Everybody, this is Osprey from MyChartCoach.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at some of the ticker symbols that were in play on Friday. So these were stocks that closed up on Friday. Most of them are penny stocks. Okay, first up is ZSAN, ZSAN, and ticker symbol ZSAN closed up 39%. So very sweet move on Friday. Ticker or the R size at 55, so it's in the bull zone right now. The same thing with Fasto at 54. And so the big thing on this chart is the green line. That's the 50-day simple moving average at 815. Notice how all these candles hit this level but fail to close above. Once there's a close above that 50-day simple moving average, that's going to be your signal. It's ready to head higher. And then the 100-day simple moving average at 1129 is going to be the target. Fail to break that level, and then you could see it pull back and fill this gap and retest possibly that middle Bollinger Band. As long as the EMA4 at 671 is holding, you know, the chart is strong still. It started this new uptrend on the 26th with the close above the middle Bollinger Band, but it has to get above the 50-day simple moving average to head higher. If you look back here in December, you can see a similar move where it got above the middle Bollinger Band, broke above that 50-day simple moving average, but pulled back, and then the downtrend continued. You're looking for a bullish change in trend here. If you're looking to trade long, you want to see a close above that 50-day simple moving average and then a run up to that 100-day simple moving average. Okay, let's look at TTOO. Okay, so this was a really nice move last week. Closed up 25% on Friday. Yeah, our side now is at 72. You have Fasto at 94. So they are. It is frothy. You have a breakout here on PTIE. Looks like it's hitting a prior resistance level there. You can see it topped out at this level back here in January. And so basically, it made this giant move on Friday. It's pushing higher, and it looks like the big target is the high close here in September. And so the closing price here at 680 is going to be the big level to break. If it can close above that 680 level, then $7 is the recent high. That'll be the next level. It could come up and form a double top at this level, so that's what you need to be keep an eye out for. It did break above this high close resistance level from back here in January, so that was a really strong move on Friday. On a pullback, you want to see this level turn into support and see that 554 level hold, the EMA4. You want to see it stay above 550 if it pulls back, and then you want to see it close above 680 and then break above 7 to head higher. Okay, let's look at PTIE. Okay, so this was a nice move as well on Friday. It just made a nice move last week. It broke above the middle Bollinger Band, and it's doing this on very light volume. But you could see here on Wednesday it closed above the dotted purple line, and so it had broken below back here when it was in this downtrending channel. You can see it topped out back here in January, and then it started this downtrend. And then it found support down here around 550, and then now it has this uptrending channel going. And then on Friday, it broke out of the top of this channel, and so it's trying to break out higher. It also closed above the closing price on January 30th, so that was a really good close. It needs to stay above 725, and then this resistance zone is going to be the big level to break. This $8 resistance zone. If it can get through the 775 to $8 level, that's when it could run up here to 925. That was the big the high close from back here in January, and so that will be the levels to break up to the upside. Now, if you see it drop below 725 and get back in this channel, it could pull back to test that middle Bollinger Band. It needs to stay above EMA4 at 687. So yeah, this is a nice move. It's heating up. It just needs to keep the uptrend going and push through resistance. Okay, let's look at SWN. This is Southwestern Energy. So yeah, the small cap energy stock plays have been heating up, and so this made a nice move on Friday. After consolidating, it finally broke out higher. It closed above 50 on RSI at 59. Fasto did close at 99, so it's pretty frothy on Fasto. There was a bullish crossover here on ADX. As you can see here, it closed near high of day. It finally broke above the middle Bollinger Band. It had been consolidating for several weeks, and then it finally broke out higher. Next week, you're looking for a break above the 50-day simple moving average at 468. If it can close above that level and turn it into support, then the 100-day simple moving average will be the next target. As you can see back here in December and January, it got above that 50-day simple moving average, and it failed to hold, and the big downtrend started. So basically right now, what you're looking for is the middle Bollinger Band at 373 to hold, and then a new uptrend to begin. You'll know that the chart is strong now if EMA4 at 399 support is holding. Really nice volume spike. Okay, so yeah, nice move for SWN. If you look at JONE, this is another energy stock. Just keep an eye on it. It's trying to heat up. up. It's in a nasty downtrend right now. You know, it's hitting prior support levels. Yeah, you could see, you know, it's hitting this zone right here, and then just below, you know, the downside risk is it could drop down to 75 and test the support zone down here. It's currently trying to bounce off of this support zone. As you can see, the 85 support zone. It made a nice close on Friday above EMAs 4 and 8. You know, it got above those levels on the 26th, and they failed to hold, and it pulled back further. So it has to stay above 95.4 to remain in play. If you see it close above the orange line, that'll be a very bullish signal. If it can get above 99s, get above, you know, if you see it trading above $1 next week, that would be a good signal JONE is in play. And then if you can turn that middle Bollinger Band at 105 into support, that would signal the possible start of a new uptrend. You know, it has a lot of work to do. It has that 50 and 100-day simple moving averages to break above as well. But just keep an eye on it. You know, any stock that closes below EMA 4 on the daily chart is a risk to hold. As you can see, all these candles heading lower. But if it can stay above EMA 4, it does signal possible upside potential. Okay, let's look at EARS. Nice move on Friday, closed up 26%. You want to see RSI get above 50 there. It's at 48 right now, so keep an eye on that level next week. Nice crossover on ADX with the red line, with the green line crossing the red line to the upside. So this had been in a downtrend as well, and then you could see, you know, it had been forming candles below the middle Bollinger Band, you know, since support broke over here. It was trying to hold that level, and then it had been below this dotted purple line here the entire time until Friday. So Friday's close was finally above that dotted purple line. Notice the green dots here were above the candles during the entire drop down, and then now the dots have flipped below the candles. So SAR stands for stop and reverse. So that's one signal that this downtrend could be reversing and a new uptrend could be starting. It's all going to depend on this middle Bollinger Band. That's the dotted purple line at 29. If 29 cents holds, that'll signal you know, to keep riding long. If it drops below, that'll make it a risk to hold. It'll have to bust through the upper Bollinger Band at 34. If it can do that, the 50-day simple moving average at 41 will be the next target. There was a really nice volume spike on Friday. Notice the last time it got above the middle Bollinger Band, it did run up to that 50-day simple moving average. Okay, let's look at SGYP. Closed above 50 on RSI at 55, so the chart's really heating up. You've got Fasto up there at 97. Check out the crossover on ADX with the green line crossing the black and the red line to the upside. So it's all signals that the chart is heating up. It came down here and bounced off of this 175 support zone. And it closed back above the middle Bollinger Band for the first time since back here, way back here in January. And so, you know, on this candle right here, it had closed below that dotted purple line, and the long downtrend, multi-week downtrend had begun and continued until this day on Friday when it closed back above that dotted purple line. So this is a bullish change in trend. The dotted purple line is the 20-day simple moving average. If it can hold that level, that signals, you know, more upside. Now it is hitting the key level right here. It closed right at the closing price here on the 31st of January, and also right at this green line, which is the 50-day simple moving average at 217. So if it closes above 217, that signals it wants to head higher, and then the 100-day simple moving average here at 230 will be the next big level. If it can get above that, then it could really get going, and then you're looking at that 265 high close from January 22nd. If it stalls out here and it fails to break above this 50-day simple moving average and fails to get above this 220 level, then you could see it pull back. It is also hitting that upper Bollinger Band at 218. You know, you have EMA 4 way down here at 196, so it might come down, test that middle Bollinger Band first. If the middle Bollinger Band at 196 holds, then it's in play. If that level fails to hold, then it will be a risk to hold. Okay, so you know, that's a key level. It has to stay above the middle Bollinger Band now for SGYP to be a good play to the long side. Okay, let's look at AVGR. Okay, closed up 18% today. Yeah, this is a dead cat bounce play, and so just keep an eye on it next week. Look at that huge volume spike on Friday. So yeah, you know, they drove this thing down. It fell off a cliff, right? It was so hard that it was dropping so hard that it even had a big gap down during the drop. So this has been severely punished. And so when a stock is dropping like this, you can see all of these candles are below the pink line, every single one of them until Friday. And so that's what makes it interesting to us, is that it finally closed above the pink line, right? And so that's a bullish change in trend. It had been huge resistance. resistance. So the algorithmic computer trading programs finally let it break resistance. The program had been set to sell. Every time it hit EMA4, they sold it, and then finally let it close above. Many times that signals more upside potential. You have to use EMA4 as your stop loss level. You cannot hold overnight long if it closes below 123. That's just, it's just a very risky trade. It has to be above that level. This is a risk, this is a deadly play as it is. And so right now it's a short cover rally. If it can hold EMA4 and then get above EMA8 at 141, then it could run up to EMA13 at 188, which is also lined up at the bottom of the gap. There's a gap here between low of day on this candle, which is lined up at the middle Bollinger Band and 250 resistance zone, and then high of day on this candle, which is lined up with the EMA13 and 188. So the upside potential is it breaks above 144 and runs up to the bottom of the gap. Keep in the mind that a bottom of the gap is always a very tough resistance level to break. Okay, let's look at SSC. So this is another one just to keep an eye on. The chart's really ugly right now. It's below 30 on RSI. It's below 20 on Fasto, even though it did have a crossover. And notice how the black line crossed over the red line right here. And then notice how that's lined up about right here on the chart. Okay, and then notice the big huge downtrend followed. So the downtrend followed when the black line crossed over the red line to the downside, right? And so now look at the bullish change in trend. The black line crossed over the red line to the upside. Okay, what happened the last time the black line was below the red line and it crossed over? That would be right here. And that was when there was a mini run, right? So this is signaling the possible start of a mini run. Once again, it's going to come, or it could turn into a long run. Who knows? But this could be the start of a run. That's one indication. You have to put all the clues together. That's why we use multiple indicators. I just use basic ones on the videos to keep it simple for everybody. But yeah, there are many tools in the belt, and then you want to add it all together to try to get the best. To figure out whether or not you want to trade or not. And so basically right here with EMA4, hitting EMA4 at 166, it's still a risk to be long. It has to close above that level to signal it's in play, so keep an eye on it. If it closes above EMA4, it could get a trade going, and you could see a run up to EMA8 at 193. So this is one that's heating up. It did form, it looks like a bullish engulfing reversal pattern on Friday, so we'll be looking for a bullish reversal confirmation, and then a possible run up to EMA8 if it can break EMA4. Another one to look at is IPWR. It's at 56 on RSI. It's in the bull zone. You've got Fasto at 96. So the bullish development on IPWR was the close above the green line. It closed slightly above the 50-day simple moving average at 130. If it stays above 130, it's in play. If that level turns into support, that would signal more upside potential, and we'll be looking for a run up to that 100-day simple moving average at 159. If you look back over here, the last time it got above the 50-day simple moving average, it did run all the way up to the 300-day simple moving average. It pulled back intraday and ended up closing below that 100-day simple moving average level and above the 50. But this is we always look for a close above the 50-day simple moving average to signal a possible breakout higher. So this will be one to keep an eye on next week. If it closes back below 50-day simple moving average, it signals it's not ready to go. And then one more to leave you with. This is super thinly traded, only 126,000 shares. I don't even know why I'm showing you this video, but putting this in the video, but I am. It's a ticker symbol AUMN, and basically it closed back above the middle Bollinger Band on Friday, and so that level has been resistance. It has to get above the 50 and 100-day simple moving average. You can see it hit here on this candle and failed to break above. If you see it above 425, close above 425, it could possibly get a run going up to that 200-day simple moving average. If it fails to get above 425, it's not even worth your time. It's probably not worth your time anyways because it's such a thinly traded stock. Okay, thank you very much for viewing this video. If you'd like to learn more about charts and technical analysis, please come check out our chat. I will post the link below the YouTube video. Okay, thank you.